All right, what's up, world? It's Action Fredo.
It's your boy lcyaheard. We
We
are actually live, and I love to say that when we are actually live because that's my favorite thing to do.
yeah.
Just a quick recap: we just did the Shalala reaction
Mm-hmm.
by Taeyong, which was absolutely fire. And us being us, we're always like, "Man, who made the beat? Man, who did this? Do that?" My man's over here that you see on the screen right here, DenzelWorldPeace, was in the comments. Just like I said, we do read the comments. We're busy guys, but we read the comments. He told us, he's like, man, I'm a part of that. Sent us a message ASAP, dude. I
Mm-hmm.
admire you so much for your sense of urgency. I like you were responding super quick, but long story short,
Someone
whatever. We'll
messaged me like about they're like, hey, they're talking about your song, but they're like wondering like who worked on the beat, and I was just like, oh, they want to find out. I'll just comment. He's like, yeah, I'm part of it, like blah blah blah. Like I'm one of the co-writers and co-producers. Like, yeah, it's me.
and I just thought that that was super cool that we actually found you in the comments, man. So, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the world who you are. Tell our audience who you are.
Yeah, I think this is like I think it's like my first like real interview, like being recorded and everything. So
Nice.
I'm Denzel World Peace. I see myself first and foremost as like producer, DJ, sound designer, sample creator, the graphic designer. Um, I started making music when I was like 14 years old. Um, I did have a music background before that, playing cello in school. But I
Mhm.
started making music when I was like 14, like just sample based hip hop. I had like an MPC 2000 XL. Probably, I don't know, too many teenagers with access to that, but I didn't even have any records at the time. I would just like use like CDs or like the radio or whatever. And I
Mhm.
still have like all my old floppy disks with like those samples on them. And
Wow.
I'm from Buffalo, and even at that point, I knew I wanted to like make beats for other artists. Um, and later in my teens, I became my own artist, started putting out my own music and DJing and stuff like that. And I got on the internet. I was reaching out to people in my early 20s, and eventually I got hooked up with Divine Channel through like a mutual friend at the time, and we just we just went crazy from there.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope, man. So, how did you transition from producing American music to K-pop? How did that happen?
Yeah,
I feel like we just
K-pop,
skipped a bunch of
K-pop,
steps.
it's just pop. I still think I produce like when I try to make a record that is like a K-pop song. 'Cause my introduction to K-pop was like YJSN, Secret by YJSN, or like Psy, or I Love You by 2NE1. So like when I try to make those records, they don't place. When I try to do what's like true to myself, like the original demo of Shalala, my other placement with one of the writers of Shalala, Mega Sapien, who's like my favorite rapper in Korea. That stuff works and that stuff places. It was so weird how I just got the opportunity. I think I told you on the phone, I'm like the cold DM king. I just cold DM'd someone's whose song I liked, and they also worked in the K-pop world. And then I think within that season, I went to LA, and just got introduced to everything and everybody, and just started up this like unofficial partnership, and
Mhm.
just started like sending in beats, and I was doing that for almost 3 years. So no one ever give up hope
Mm,
on
Nice,
anything. I was doing
nice.
that for almost three
he's dropped.
years, and then what did you say?
No, I was just gonna say, man, I like how you dropping nuggets quick, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't 5 minutes into the conversation and you giving inspiration, brother.
Yeah, man. I like what
And
you.
that's what I'm here to do, man. That's what I really want, because I want people to look up to me like I look up to you know, to all these other producers and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
I like what you
yeah.
said regarding staying true to yourself and creating what you want to create. Um, yeah, I got a nephew that's learning how to make beats currently, and
Hmm.
I was showing them like some K-pop stuff, and we like like some of our reactions and like the history that we know this far of what we've done, but I don't think that was like necessary because he has to create what he wants to create and find
Yes.
his voice, stay true to what he wants to do, and I feel like the opportunities will come, man. So that's good insight. Um, so
They,
I,
they
I
do come. They do come.
Yeah. I'm sensing that you're like a wild creator, like in the sense of you're not just limited to making beats, man. You give me those vibes like you are walking
Um,
creativity.
I'm
If you
not.
had to
Yeah.
choose one, because I remember you naming some, you said you do some fashion, some graphic design, DJ. If you
Yeah.
could only have one creative outlet, which one would you go with? I know that's
I'll
very
definitely.
hard.
I'll definitely go with music. It's how I express myself.
Hmm.
Or like just sitting at the piano or whatever, or just with my mono machine. Just for that's a very complicated synthesizer, so going through that for like hours and hours. It's how I find some sort of. It's how I really like can express myself better than words. I'm not very good with like words. I'm like a self-described like a introvert, I guess. So I'm not really good with like communication, but music is my way of like form of like communicating.
So what kind of music did you grow up on? Like some of your huge musical influences. Like what were you listening to?
Oh, so wild. So when I started just like discovering music like independently, I mean, I remember like all the classics, like when I was growing up, like Coldplay and like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Those were like all the big. But I remember when I started going like my own way. Um, of course, it was like the Kanye album, the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Kid Cudi's second album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the Kanye album. Oh no, that was Jesus. Never mind. We'll get there. But well, again, okay, anyway, the Kanye album introduced me to more people like Aphex Twin, who's like one of my favorites now. Um, and then I think I also like the movie Fight Club. And the Dust Brothers were the producers of that soundtrack, and they also did the second Beastie Boys album, Paul's Boutique. So that album was like all the samples. I like DJ Shadow. I like introducing that album was all the samples. Um, I think when I was younger, when I was on the internet, I was at the end of like mashup culture.
Hmm.
So like a lot of mashups. Daft Punk definitely. I think I got yeah. I mean everyone remembers some experience with Daft Punk. So I love the Discovery album, and Daft Punk led me to find out like Justice. And Justice, if it wasn't for Jack Justice and Daft Punk, I really wouldn't know like what a synthesizer like was like I would really wouldn't be like wanting to do this if it wasn't for them.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
Yeah.
and
Prior to
that's even
getting
how to use software. I
Yeah,
gotta still like on my little MPC every day, coming home from school, chopping beats.
got you. I was gonna say prior to getting a placement, were you familiar with any K-pop at all, or was it just kind of like it just happened organically and then you got into K-pop?
I still to this day I like what I like because I work with like a lot of girls that are like into K-pop, like super, super, super into K-pop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw one listening to my song. I just was like, I'm not gonna be that guy and be like, hey, that's my song, like blah blah. But I like what I like. I have like a whole playlist of just stuff that I like the way it sounds. So like I'm not like a super heavy like K-pop fan, but I think a lot of it is like amazing. And it's like in a way like a lot of countries are trying to catch up with America, but they're doing it in a way where they're like trying to catch up at the same time in the future. And what Americans are kind of trying to strive after now. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, before just like kind of like working to make K-pop beats or whatever, I wasn't listening to much K-pop. Um,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and then I sort of just like learned to like things.
That's
At
dope.
first, I started out liking the stuff that the Vine channel was putting out. That's how
Yeah.
it started with me.
Nice.
Oh,
So
okay, this is cool. I see what they're doing. I'm like, I'm gonna branch out listening and like, yeah.
cool, man. So take us back to the day. You wake up in the morning. You might have a routine. You might just, have overslept that day, but you eventually sat down. You started making the Shalala beat. Take us through that process of what you were thinking, maybe where you got that sample or, what I'm saying, the creative flow around making that instrumental in particularly.
I started that beat in December, and it was literally just the first loop. And it was a sample someone else made up of like 5 different layers of samples.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love that a lot. And I was trying to make a remix to this song called Too Many Hoes by like Jay-Z. So everyone I got like the Timbaland vibe to it, and the Neptune's vibe was like, the Missy Elliott vibe was totally hit that one in the nose. I don't think we definitely weren't trying to hide it, but yeah, it just didn't work out. So I added like some chords to it. I would love to fucking play it. Let me know. Like I know.
Oh yeah, do your thing, man.
Can
Let
you
me
share
know.
your audio and like share your screen?
I can't share the screen, but I will
Okay.
share. Let me know if you can hear it like this, please. Good.
Can't
Nothing.
hear
No.
anything.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
Mhm.
There's a muffly. Go from the beginning. Actually, that's not even right. There's like 3 different versions.
I can kind of feel this Timberland vibe on that.
Super minimal. Just drums for now. So if anyone's ever heard that like last Child Rebel Soldier song, the like Lupe, Kanye, and Pharrell one, they had that song as Don't Stop. That's literally just like, it's a little bit different, but it's just like, and then it's like has the bell and the sample. And then it
Mhm.
has like the most like lush like chord outro for like the end of Kanye's verse. That's kind of like what I was trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I had a second idea with the vibe. My partner had the idea. He's like, remember that song like Senorita by um Timbaland? Sometimes I have to be like, man, you're old, bro. Like
You're probably our age though, so it's like cool to
I'm 27,
us. Oh yeah, see,
yeah,
we're
but
older than you.
Yeah, man.
We're older than you.
I'm hey, you guys don't look a day 25. Like you guys still look young, so it doesn't matter. But
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it, man. The camera takes off
Yeah.
6, 7 years.
There we go. Yeah.
Nah, man. I like it though. I mean, a lot of the references that you reference is stuff that I listen to too, and it's like I'm right there with you musically. I think that there's sort of like a void in American music or American hip hop music where a lot of people are craving more or something different, and I feel like it's on the rise. I feel like for the past few years, hip hop has kind of been, I can't judge everything and put it all in one box because it's more than just mainstream. Mainstream hip hop, I feel like, is lacking a little bit, and I feel like it's time for change. And I feel like more musicality is entering mainstream hip hop. I feel like that's on the rise.
Yeah, well, I hope
You
at
think
least.
so? Like, please put me on because I don't listen to much mainstream hip hop.
I don't either,
Yeah, I don't either.
but I feel like I just sense that producers like you and guys who are venturing off and doing more K-pop are just naturally wanting to express themselves through what they love, and it's a lot of stuff we grew up on, but just kind of fusing together. And I
Yeah.
feel like mainstream is headed in that direction. That's just a feeling. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like whenever we interview producers, because you're not the first, we always ask similar questions, and the ones that are like you are still under the influence of who they were influenced by musically. When nowadays we're seeing a new generation of who people are becoming influence wise. Like everyone might start sounding like Lil Baby or like Da Baby or something, and 10 years from now they're gonna be like, I was influenced by him. And I get what you're saying because that's what we grew up on and that's what we love.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I hate to sound old even saying it. I think it was just like, the best era too. So if you can stick in that creative flow and recreate that, I do believe it will come back around to save music. And that's just my like old thinking, I guess, or just what's in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of like him and producers like in his of skill set.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're taking what they like and enjoy, but also adding another layer of musicality to it. Because the first
Have you
part
guys
of
heard
the,
my music? Like, who would you consider as like my peers, really?
I can't
I
lie,
know
when I heard the
Droyddiddat is all
beat,
Buffalo and everything.
not to compare or
Mm-hmm.
put you in a box, I feel
Mhm.
like Dim Joints is super dope, and I felt like when I heard the song, I was like, yo, did he make this?
It was a thought.
It was a
Say
thought.
you
Because our beat
I want to
recognition, our
but
beat
you didn't
rec,
hear the air coming.
yeah,
So
yeah, we would have known.
So I hope you take that as a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. That
I
shit was
do, I do,
100%
man.
compliment.
I mean, the work they just did with Kanye is amazing.
Yeah, man. And I'm just kind of the guys that we know. There's one in your city too, man. Buffalo, New York. Droid.
Yeah. So he did Focus from NCT 127.
Yeah.
Remember I told you
I
that.
heard, hold on, let me grab it.
Oh, my man's got a fish tank. Hold on, bro. We gotta talk when he get back.
Yeah, that's the
That's
fish
my
tank
pet
lord.
turtle. That's my
You got
that's
a
my
turtle in
baby.
there?
That's my pet turtle. Her name is Hercules, and it's my baby. I love her with all my heart. But yeah, I actually have.
Wow.
Hey.
Look at that.
And I actually Focus is crazy. I sampled Focus
Did
once.
you?
Fun little thing with my friend. Um, this is one part where it's like open focus. It's like, what you wanna do? And
Yeah.
I had like made this like crazy beat with my friend. And that's never coming out, but
Nah, that's dope, man. I love that album. I love that track. And we interviewed the producer and the songwriter for Focus.
Yeah.
Jaco Lawrence is pretty dope, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But no, just back to the song, back to the instrumental or whatever. It was interesting to actually hear the instrumental. One, because I haven't even listened to that song or watched that reaction that we did, so it was refreshing. And two, it sounds totally different, just the instrumental. And what I was going back to saying a couple minutes ago, like, people got to recognize that we have like huge beat recognition when we're doing these reactions, like whether we talk about it or not, just because I'm a songwriter and I'm an artist myself, and my guy is a huge music lover. I've been shooting music videos for years and years and years. And we immediately recognize the talent that you have and the distinctness that you have. With that being said, catch us up to speed where you are now. Like, are you looking for more placements? Are you shopping around? Like, how's your beat making? Anything that you got going on?
yeah, no, I'm looking for that next placement, that next like that rush is indescribable. When you're like, I saw it was this one meme. It was like, the end of Pursuit of Happiness, where he's like got the job as a stockbroker or whatever. He's crying. He's like, producers have been grinding for 10 years, 2 months, and 7 days, and they finally got the first plate. And he's like crying and like praying. It's like I felt like that, but now I'm like, okay, like what's next? So I was like, and I have like, I know I have like hits like ready. So like, I'm just like, okay, what's next? Who's the next person we're gonna work with? When's the next writing camp? What's next? So I try to keep like the same work ethic of not thinking too much. That's also another thing. It's like the best way to just like make something that's true to yourself is to not think about other people's reaction. I didn't think about anyone else's reaction when I started the Shalala. I didn't care who I impressed. I was just inspired by something and wanted to make a Jay-Z like something that was never gonna come out anyway. So like if you're true to yourself, you'll go further for sure.
Mm.
Hey man, that's dope. I think
Lock on.
yeah.
But what's next to me is just yeah, expect more placements because I'm working every day. So it's just expect them.
Mm. Okay.
Oh man, it's inevitable, man. I think the beauty of what we're doing now is like we want to create like a platform for guys like yourself. So when audience love like and want more information on something that they heard, they can come watch us and get to know you, and hopefully it manifests into the go-to place for producers to just have conversations, man,
Yeah.
with the world.
We're all about throwing the oop, like the alley oop, man. Like we said that, when we first started this down in the basement of my, house a couple houses ago, we literally were just like, man, we're just trying to put everybody on. Everybody who grinding that just need that other piece of somebody else who grinding to get that placement, to get that movie, get that film. You know what I'm saying? We just want to just give you that perfect layup. So it might be somebody that watches this that you connect with, that's a producer close by, or somebody that can email you. Next thing you know, y'all working together, grinding, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you're open to that. Yeah. So that's
My DMs are open. I mean, I got of course like when people start, I got a crazy amount like DMs. And everything. I try to respond to like literally everyone because I've been in that situation. So I try to respond to like someone wants to work. I just yeah, send me some stuff or like, I'll send me some like stems or whatever. Or, like let's like work on. So yeah, I'm open to everybody. I'm Denzel World on everything.
Yeah.
Email, Instagram, all of that. That's the only thing I have. But yeah, I'm open to anyone reaching out.
That's dope. That's dope. So, as
Yeah.
far as like the technical side of beat making, what are you using? I think you mentioned it.
I use Ableton Live, my computer.
Hmm.
I have an Electron mono machine, which is a synthesizer. I can't recommend this thing enough. I think everyone should have one. It is
Mm.
like $3,000 now, unfortunately, but it's like the best synthesizer ever.
Yeah.
Um, and that is pretty much it. I used to have like tons of gear, but it was like decoy gear. It was real, but it was like stuff I wasn't using, like a lot of digital keyboards and like stuff I didn't need. Like all you need is the computer. You can come up so far with just computer.
mm,
Mm. That's dope.
yeah.
So, how do you feel about Fruity Loops? Would you recommend that, or is it like preference only, depending on what?
I
If
use Ableton. I know how to use Logic. Fruity Loops is insane. Fruity Loops has probably like the best built-in like sounds like flex and like all that. And I mean you can't hate on Fruity Loops because probably like half of the top 10 songs are like made with image line software.
yeah,
Um, it just didn't work out for me. I think Ableton worked out for me because I can really just go in there and like do whatever I want.
yeah,
So
Really,
you seem like someone I can ask this question to. I like to also cater to anyone that they can gain inspiration from. For example, like if some like his nephew might watch this and he might be on the brink of beat making. Now, when it comes to software, are there some that are more like user friendly to get started with, or is it pure preference of the platform?
I think there are some that are definitely user friendly. The first time I opened up Ableton, I was like, "What is this?" And I didn't open it up for another week.
Yeah.
But if you have like a Mac, definitely start with just like GarageBand because that it's free, it's on there, and it's like the perfect introduction to like Logic, which is Logic's like the perfect introduction to Pro Tools, which is like industry standard. Once your beats get placed, like they're definitely gonna go to Pro Tools. So it's important to like know what you're doing with that.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I mean, I don't know. That's just like, I mean, even ImageLine knows is everyone knows how to get a free version of Fruity Loops and
Mhm.
all the VSTs in the world. So like, that's a good place to start. But don't focus like there's too many VSTs.
Mhm.
So um, a good yeah, I mean, no, a good point of entry is like whatever DAW works with you, and it's like yeah, just don't get intimidated by like you know what other people are doing on other DAWs, all the crazy stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
No matter
Mhm.
how I can make beats on my mountain machine, like without any computer. I was making beats without any computer for years. So like whatever your entry point is, just like stick with that.
It's
Dope.
dope. That's dope.
I like it.
Another thing I was going to ask is, hold on, wait, my mind just went blank for 1 second.
Are you good? I got questions. Look, and I don't mind asking you like questions that I need to ask. You know what I'm saying? I get selfish on here because I'm like, okay, this is a kind of a lane that I'm trying to get into as well.
All right.
Oh, you got
It
yours?
came back
Yeah,
to
go
me.
ahead.
It
Go ahead
came
then.
back to
I'll
me.
save mine. I know what I want to ask.
How important would you say it is to uh learn like the how to read music or like learn like chord
Mm.
progressions or learn an instrument when it comes to beat making?
So man, it's whatever you want to do because like now the computer we can be lazy. The computer can do it for us, and no one can say we're doing it because everyone's doing it. Everyone's fixing a note artificially. Every metal song has fake drums, like blah blah blah. So like they're really you can use loops. You got splice. You got samples from the internet. Um, I would suggest, I mean, if you want to learn music, like, like go for it. Like I can read music. I have trouble reading treble clef because I grew up playing the cello, so I can read bass clef instantly, but I don't know like my right hand on piano is pretty slow. Um, I mean, yeah, if you got it, like, you know, but and if you don't have it, like don't feel bad about it because you can learn or you can collaborate with someone who does know. Like my business partner is like a beast at the piano. So
Oh,
Yes.
so if I lack in that, I can just send things to him.
hmm
I like that.
yeah. What we looking like time wise on the Zoom?
We got 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah. So I'm really intrigued in people's creative process. I always ask, like, do people, especially producers or anyone who writes music, have a certain routine? Like, do you go out by the water or go into the forest? Or do you eat a certain breakfast or do a workout before, or you just kind of roll out of bed and do your thing? Like, is there any process to what you do?
Bed and do like whatever is like I'll usually have like a song like stuck in my head or something memorized. Right now, what's been helping me is this book that I cannot suggest enough. Rick Rubin's book about creativity and how he talks about it's called the creative act, a way of being, and he's talking about the act of creation is you living, and
Mm,
this creativity is like this force that comes into our life and how to live our lives to allow creativity to be like coming into us at all times. So that's something I've been reading. I would like go to like the park and like, yeah, before the song came out, I was like just going to the park, just relaxing, and that's what I'm gonna do today. Today's a nice day. I'm just gonna go and read Rick Rubin's book and just meditate for a little bit. But generally the process is just like not that glamorous. Just what roll out of bed, work like make beats for 12 hours.
Mm.
Um, and then whenever I go to LA, it's just like roll out of bed, make beats for like 12 hours, sleep for like 4 to 6, wake up, make beats, play my mono machine, like just make like there's some videos of me on YouTube just like jamming on it for like and some like live streams of me like jamming on it. And like I start with that because I just love it. It's fun. It's like um if you're lucky enough to like have hardware, it's just kind of like fun, like messing around with like any like sequencing, like beat making stuff. But yeah, no, the process is whatever you want it to be, really. But that's my process. I just roll up. I usually have something and some idea, some like loose concept, something I'm inspired by, and I just try to make it to the best of my ability.
Awesome.
That's dope, man. Is there any producer, artist that you would love to work with?
There's too many, all of them, everyone I listen to. Like I go down this list of like I love Cashmere Cat. That was like introduction to like me turn like wanting to make my beats into like whole full-fledged songs. Over Mono, that was the last concert I went to. Very like ravey, like UK garage vibes. Just Hussein, I love just Hussein's music, but I don't think he works with like anybody except Kanye. Like, there's this guy Pocket. He's based in like Edinburgh, very like fat UKG vibes. Um, Cobra, who I think is amazing. Hudson Mohawk, one of my favorite producers. Miramasa, um, who's just amazing. Like I don't even know how to describe his music. I like him because he's like my age too. Uh, I yeah, too many and too many artists I'd love to work with even more. Like I find that different artists every day, more so than producers. But um,
Yeah, you
yeah, a
naming
lot
some
of
people I'm gonna have to look up.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna play this back and then just start Googling.
like I'm listening to now is like the new Hudson Mohawk and Nicki Nair. I was listening to Ren Weaver, her first album, and she has a song that Michael Angelico's from Passion Pit did. Passion Pit. Well, Michael is from Buffalo too. So there's people like Emil Hain who produced for Kid Cudi and Lana Del Rey and uh, all that. Like they're all like Buffalo. So it's Rick James, like, but yeah, I'm listening to so much music, but and I would love to work with everyone I listen to. There's a new guy, Wes Mills, who makes kind of like UKG stuff. Sim Fane, amazing. Too many. I could be here all day naming people I'm just like obsessed. I would love to work with.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is super dope.
You got any one last question, LC?
Um, well, yeah, I do have a question. Like I said, it's more so like a personal question, but it can also pertain to the audience of like, what is the proper way to uh essentially contact someone like you, like to even send you a demo? Like, is there a certain type of way that you go about, reaching out to connect certain artists or producers, or is it
Uh,
just you
if I
just sending them
genuinely, yeah,
songs or what? Like, hey man, like say if I didn't know you, if I was just like, hey, Denzel, here's 5 of my songs. Tell me what you think, or how do you go about doing it? Do you like, initiate conversation first, or
how I start doing it is just very simple. Like it's first of all, it's always gotta be genuine because people can see through that a mile away if you're not being genuine. It's genuine. It's just kind of like a compliment on their song or whatever. Or like I'll send them like my sample pack, or if they have like the same synth as me or whatever, I'll send them like the same like files or whatever. Um, I'll do that, and then I don't know. I don't know. I don't really usually ask to work or anything like that, or um. But if I ask to work, I'm just like, hey, can I send you some demos, or like, can we share like some like ideas we have, or I got stems for this if you wanted to add anything on it, like blah blah blah. And me and people have become like good friends, like going like I have friends from all over the world from just doing that. If someone wanted to contact me, I would just like even someone's just like, hey man, like want to listen to my song. It's like, oh yeah, sure. I try, like I said, I try to get to everybody because you never know and everything. And you know, I'm only here because someone answered me and they didn't know me and they got a lot of emails today. And I want to do that to I want to do that to the next person.
That's dope, man. Planting those seeds. Cause I get those messages too, like LC man, check me out. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I was just thinking too, like I've been on both ends of it. Like I've reached out to people. I've also
There isn't
received it. I'm like,
like
there isn't a right way, but I guess you just answered it. You got to just do it often and with a purpose.
yes, be authentic, like because people can see through if you're sending like 20 messages a day.
Mm,
So be authentic.
mm, dope, dope.
Yeah, man. You got any questions for us, man?
Oh yeah.
I'm so this is like my first introduction to you guys, man. I was just so interested how you guys got into K-pop and everything, and you guys review all different types of K-pop and how give me like the elevator pitch of how you guys just how this channel just came to.
All right, so we got 2 minutes on the Zoom. We might have to call you back, but I'm gonna try to break it down in 2 minutes. Higher Faculty was born in Middletown, Ohio. Decided to open up a studio where artists can come be creative, and that really didn't happen because of the pandemic. But what did happen was me and him sat down and was like, how can we like grow an audience? And we started doing reaction videos. And initially it was just LC picking random stuff, and then he was couldn't figure the equipment out. And I sat down next to him, like, I know this technical stuff, how to work all these chord stuff. So I was like, man, but let's do some K-pop. And he was like, nah, I'm not really into it. But he was he had that energy like I'm not really interested. And then we sat down and reacted to NCT 90s Love and posted it, woke up to like a couple hundred views, a few subscribers, 30 or 40 people. And we was like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like,
30 people. Yeah.
yeah, man. And then it just manifested into us like reading the comments and doing more reactions. And then like millions of views and thousands of subscribers later, we're still doing it, man.
Yeah. And then it started just, really snowballing into the connections we're making. Like even with you, we've, talked to Adrian McKinnon and Mike Daly, and we just linked up with what's this?
Timothy Bowles Bullock.
What's up?
I just watched that mic one. Let's
Oh, the Mike
restart
Daly.
this for
Record on this.
All right, we good now?
Yeah.
What I was saying for the Zoom, try to cut us off. We've connected with Tim Bullock. We've connected with Mike Daly, a couple other producers, and it all came from just, sitting down and reacting. But we knew from the jump that like we weren't just going to be reacting, if that, makes sense to a lot of people. Like there's not to knock anyone who just does it, but he actually is a videographer and I have the ability to write songs and I put some music out myself. So it was just kind of like, yo, like if we can, interview these producers and, get with them and, kind of make some kind of thing going on here. That's what we're, essentially called to do. And tell them about the film, bro.
I mean, before I move forward, it's the beauty of our journey has been like organic. It wasn't like we planned on. I think we were thinking locally, and it just happened to turn globally. Like I wanted to have a place where local producers could come in and like work in my space and get interviews and do photo shoots and video shoots. Like that's what we wanted. And it was just like, all right, the K-pop stuff started taking off, and then producers like were in our comments like, yo, I produced this, and like artists were in our comments, like K-pop artists. And we was like, yo, like we don't need to just be sitting here reacting. Like we need to be reaching out to these people, and it just happened. But fast forward to now is like, as a filmmaker, I'm working on like, a big project. I want to tell the story of the writers and producers behind K-pop, because I feel like everybody has a story, and I feel like this one is the unique one that needs to be told. Is like some of the best music right now is like spewing out through K-pop artists, but it's coming from people from all over the world with their
Mhm.
own stories and own skill sets and abilities and influences. So, we started that. It's a work in progress, man.
Yeah.
So,
But
higher faculty will be films. It will be songwriting, beat making, all of that, so.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. When I went back and I looked at all you guys' videos, I was so impressed. I was like, oh, these guys are like on every release, getting like they're on like everything. I was like really impressed. I was like, these guys. I was like, I know there's a lot of reactions. I was like, it was just the way like you guys like presented yourselves and everything. I was like, oh man, I don't care about how many followers you guys. Like, these guys look like the guys to go to. Like, because I watched a lot of like Shalala reactions and.
Mhm.
It was reviews were like mixed and everything like that. I thought that was important just to get like
Feedback.
keep not really to, yeah feedback and if anyone had like constructive criticism
Yeah.
and some I agreed with, some I disagreed with, but when I saw you guys, I was like, oh man, these guys look like the guys, and like you guys have that twist and that little extra thing of like already having the back be more than fans and having the technical ability. So I mean like that's what like really makes you different. That's amazing because I always think like, man, if you're gonna put something out in the world that everyone else is doing, like what's your twist? What's your extra thing that you got? And you guys got it. So I
I
think that's
appreciate
amazing.
appreciate that, man. We don't get much feedback
Please, we don't get no feedback, bro.
often. I mean, we kind of do in our comments,
Yeah.
but then like somebody who's kind of like in the industry, I would
Yeah.
say that's dope to hear.
I'm over here feeling like I need to do 20 push-ups real quick. Yeah, to stay pumped up a little bit.
Yeah, man.
I got another question for you. I thought about this. I like to ask producers this and people who are behind the scenes. What's your take on recognition? Would you rather go into Walmart and no one never know who you are, or would you rather walk into, Starbucks?
I'm a misanthrope, man. I don't go. I hate people, man. Like not like I'm just like I
It's
like
cool.
I like I like read like Nietzsche and like existential Nietzsche and like existential philosophies and stuff like that, man. I don't want to be around people. So like recognition, I only want my props and my checks. It's all
Mhm.
I really care about. I don't really need. I don't know if there's any like because the concept of the super producer is kind of gone now. I can't name besides Metro Boomin, who just makes his own albums. I can't name anybody. I can't name anybody that's like a producer that's going to be like ran down on the mall. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But and just looking at what these K-pop stars and what these actual stars have to deal with, it's like, no, I don't want anything to do with that, really. Of course, yeah, I think I would just rather be like respected. I don't think anyone's gonna be asking like take a picture of me or anything like that. But people, they do send me like some like good vibes over DMs and stuff like that. Like, thanks
Yeah.
for being a part of the song and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I like that because I was getting like crazy amounts of notifications today and DMs and like thank yous and like I would say you're welcome to like every single one I could and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know about like in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You mentioned Nietzsche. I got that on my phone, man. I was on the last flight I was on. I was reading some of that stuff right there, man. That's good stuff.
Dope. But
That's heavy
yeah,
stuff.
I'm always curious of that because whenever I meet, especially younger, like K-pop fans, we'll use this as an example. Like I met some middle schoolers who, were huge K-pop fans. I work at a middle school, so that's not weird, anybody. I work there. Yeah, they're like, oh, he's linking up with some middle schoolers, but they like were huge
I wasn't
fans.
thinking that at all.
You just know how the internet is. Somebody be like, what's he doing? But yeah, they were huge fans, and I was just like, asking them what their favorite songs were and all this other stuff. And then I was just like, do you know who made the instrumental or like wrote the song or anything? And they automatically think that it's the artist. They're like, them. And I'm like, yeah, well, sometimes it's them, but sometimes it's like they don't understand the concept. So that's why I always like to ask like how much someone would care as opposed of like, man, I got my
Didn't
bread.
everybody think that? Didn't you used to
Yeah,
think
I
like
used to.
everybody just did everything and like wrote everything for one? Like
Yeah.
that was probably a big wasn't there like a Family Guy episode about that? Like he found out like one of his favorite writers didn't write the actual song. Like people write the song, there's demos, there's like a lot of people behind. If you can be that person, that's like I don't know, like Bjork, like write and like blah 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 and like
Yeah.
produce and everything like that, like good on you. But my like I love talking to K-pop fans. Um, and getting like their perspective on things and learning so much because like I'm only in my little bubble and I like what I like. I know things like BTS was like 10% of Korea's economy and used to be able to like pay to like high five them at concerts and like
Yep.
and they and like on the internet they know like they know and like they care who produced it and they know it sounds like so and so and everything like that. They're very they seem very invested in like the behind the scenes, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure about the younger people, they even like care about producers, but I was that kid definitely because I wanted to be a producer. But yeah, I do care about the perception a little bit. I do like want my props for helping. I only did like as you guys heard and probably could translate, I only did like a very tiny bit, but I consider everyone to be like a helping hand, but I was kind of like that spark for the song, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should be, man.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. All right. What's the ultimate goal for you? Let's do the $10 million rule. $10 million in my book is wealthy. You already bought your mama the house. You got the cars. You got everything you need. You got a bigger chain than the one
All right,
you
that's
got
how I
on.
drive, man. I'm gonna get something dumb. I'm gonna get like a Batmobile or something I can drive if I get my first car with $10 million.
What would you do if you woke up and you've had major placements, you
Mhm.
got the bag, you donated a little bit to higher faculty.
Yeah, just a little something, bro. Just give me a
Just
cool hat. Give me
you
some
know
of
what I'm
your
saying?
merch
Like,
on the low. You know what I'm
what would
That
you
could be
do?
arranged. That could be arranged. That could be arranged even without $10 million. But okay.
saying?
Man, have my studio, have all the gear I wanted. Um, just chill and just like have a space where like I can just have people and what's most important, just have a space where I can have like my friends or the people I came up with just come and like record for free and like um I'm not saying I have all the connections in the world, but like give them like a leg up. Help the people that supported me like on my journey and everything like that. That would be the first thing I'd do. I would just have like a full-fledged like free studio.
Mm,
That's like the next goal that I have because that's what my first apartment was. It was just like, hey, everybody come over, like record, like blah blah blah. But you're talking about $10 million, like and in Buffalo, I can go like a way farther than like LA. So like, yeah, just having like my own space and everything to produce, record, and all the different like facets of art I'm into, just to be able to have a space to do that.
So
that's
yeah,
probably
I'm
the
probably, I'm probably the type of person who would buy a bunch of gear and stuff before I like buy like a proper bed or something like that for like if I
wow.
had like $1 or something like that. Yeah.
That's what I
So
was gonna say. I was gonna say that's probably the realest, most dedicated to the craft answer I've ever heard.
yeah,
Like, most people might be like 10 mil, like I'm gonna make like a beat a year. I'm kicking it. I'm out here in Maui. Like, I'm just gonna go off and live my life. Like they're using it as a means to like be free, as opposed of just like what you said. Oh, go ahead.
that's fair. That's totally
Yeah.
fair. But
Yeah.
my form of freedom is what I described.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Hey,
Beautiful.
I would say the same thing as him. Like, I honestly have the same vision. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the studio we're sitting in, like, all right, let's double it, but put it in my basement.
Oh yeah.
Like, all right, now we can fly him out and he can do the podcast in person, show
Yep.
us how he made the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, y'all two can work on some music
Yep.
and just make it a place where people could work, because I feel free when I'm creating as well.
Yeah.
Like that's free to me. But then I would also have to spend at least 1 mil on travel and go all around the world
Oh
and
yeah, that's a given.
But after
And the
that, I'm
middle on
coming
clothes.
back.
You gotta stay fresh. You gotta stay fresh. So
Oh
the
yeah,
middle on
see,
like clothes or whatever. I don't know what's popping now, but like yeah, you gotta stay fresh no matter what.
All these K-pop videos make me feel like I don't have no swag and
none.
I don't know how to shoot videos because
I'm in workout gear right now because I got to coach football in like a couple hours, and I'll just wear this all day. Like I have no
That's swag
swag.
too. You ever heard of health gov? Look up health
No,
gov. So that's a whole rabbit hole you can go down. Like that's also swag too. So
yeah, that's
I
what I
got
need to be.
it's
I'm
like
just gonna
this
start
is like
wearing.
acting videos. This is like Dior's. This is,
Oh, sweet.
black.
Oh, he got the black pink on.
hey,
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
dope.
This
yeah.
is actually a girl's shirt. It was like supposed to be this long dress, so I just got extra smalls to make it like a t-shirt for me.
That's
Oh yeah. See,
dope.
you be thinking ahead. You real. Yeah. See, I need to get like you. Think outside the box. Get it. Just get it done, man. I'm out here. The other day I
I
said
need
I'm
to get
just
like
gonna.
y'all getting it done like right now. It took me, it took me years to get it done. Y'all getting it done like in the moment, so I can get like y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
All right, before you
I
go,
need I
man.
need the DenzelWorldPeace globe like neon sign like today. Like I need like,
Yeah,
y'all,
man.
like,
Go get it today, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, when that Shalala check hits, man, you go ahead and
Yeah.
do what you got to do.
I was gonna say you got one more question because I got our very last question that we ask people.
All right. So what was I about to ask you? My mind went blank again. Dang it.
You
You
need a
go
coffee,
ahead.
bro. I was just gonna say, what's your message to the world? You know what I'm saying? What do you just want to say to the world? If you got one message, tell the people.
I want to be completely honest, especially in the music industry. Have patience. If you're gonna work with somebody who is humble. I've been in a lot of situations where there are people who are not humble and they will try to take things from you. They will see any cracks, any weaknesses, and they will try to take things from you. Work with someone who like really, really like a lot of people like I came from blah, 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 who like really, really started from like the position you were at and worked their way up. And don't let any struggles financially, physically, mentally hold you back from your dream because it's all possible. There's enough opportunities for all of us, even if you're not trying to get placement and you're just trying to like just make music that you like, you can do it. Like when Shalala came out, I started this crappy job. This job was so bad. I started another job that was just so at a music studio. I was like, oh, my dreams finally came true. And it was so bad and so taxing on my physical and mental health. I had to end up in the hospital. And I was showing all the nurses my song there. So, you know, um, and even now, like I'm still like struggling to make ends meet until a lot of checks come through. So but if you stay true to yourself and because I know I'm sitting on like millions of dollars worth of beats, so I know at the end of the day, like I'm good, and anyone that's listening to this, no matter if they've been working and whatever, and like you're sitting on millions of dollars of beats too, because you never know. Because my only two placements came from the most random, weird, I just idea, and I'm just a kid from the east side of Buffalo. And if you
Yeah.
know Buffalo, that really puts it in perspective that like, someone got inspired to record on my song because they're in like Paris Fashion Week, blah, blah, and they're in like and they're in and they're like in Korea and Seoul, like we're in Milano, blah, blah, blah. So that like from where I'm at, like to go to like that level and everything like that, just from an idea, just like always have faith in your ideas. Do not listen to anybody. Don't take anyone's advice. Sometimes don't even take your own advice because you can self-doubt yourself. Um, and I'm open. I'm DenzelWorldPeace on everything. If anyone has any messages about any questions, as long as they're not too confidential, I'd love to answer and like help and like offer and any advice that I can give because I was in the same position. And even if you just started making beats, I was just in the same position as you. And I think that's a good place to leave off on.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I love that message.
I love that too,
That's
man.
very
God
genuine.
bless you, bro.
Yeah, that's very genuine, man.
You
We're
guys
not
so
too
much.
your story is not too far off from ours. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we might have the studio and the light and everything, but you know, it was just going out on a whim, man, and starting a dream, you know. And you know, the dream was to kind of do what we're doing now, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, hopefully it just continues to snowball, and you know, we will have the opportunity to, you know, fly people out and do these interviews in person, and you know, keep doing what we're doing, but just on a bigger level, man. So
Yeah, you said it best,
It,
brother.
it will. It will. I believe in it. I see it already. And I'm close. I'm in
Yeah.
Buffalo, not that far.
oh yeah, man. I feel like we'll be there, man, eventually, because
Yeah.
you know, we connected with another K-pop producer by the name of Droid.
Mhm.
And so now that's two producers that we know out in
Mhm.
Buffalo
Both in
that we,
Buffalo.
you
No,
know,
I need to connect with Droid, man. I need to.
Yeah.
No, I, no,
We'll
I,
make that happen, man. I'll reach out to him.
yeah,
sure,
man.
sure.
You
If,
know,
if
we'll
he,
shoot
only
you.
if he wants to. But yeah, like sure, love
Yeah,
to connect.
Yeah, that's
absolutely, man. I'm
I,
gonna hit him up right after this. Matter of fact.
I don't see why not,
Well, you
man.
guys
That's
have
all
a
the
blessed day. I have to go to